this episode we leave Colorado Springs and head east all the way across the Great Plains, eventually to get up to Minnesota to have Christmas with Dawn's family. After Christmas we went straight south down through the Midwest and the Bible Belt towards Louisiana.
Just as we were leaving Colorado Springs, we happened upon this costume shop. They had tons of costumes. I didn't want to go, but Peter really wanted to fulfill some of his secret fantasies and prepared to meet my parents. Across the Great Plains we entered Kansas, which is the second largest wind energy source potential in the United States. It has the potential capacity to power 75% of the United States with its electrical energy at a cost of $400 billion. They've made a great start. They've ramped up from less than a gigawatt to now over 5 gigawatts in the past 10 years. But they've got a ways to go, and it's turning out to be extremely profitable for them. It's out with the old and in with the new.
What? I'm getting it, but you're kind of spoiling it by singing.
I thought it was your music.
Peter, we forgot a donation.
A what?
Dawn, who does this remind you of? After leaving Minnesota, we took a couple of weeks to drive down south to find warmer climates and headed down to New Orleans, stopping off in a few places along the way. The snow and ice and salt sure made a mess of our battery buggy.
What a mess.
People in Bowling Green looked a little confused when we asked where the site of the massacre was. So instead we decided to go visit the museum for the Corvette, the American sports car, which was interesting.
The museum is located across the street from the production facility. They started producing Corvettes in 1953 in St. Louis and then moved over to Bowling Green in the early 80s. They're on the 7th generation of cars, and you can take delivery on site. Your car just shows up on the floor of the museum and right next door to the library that they have on site. There are a lot of famous cars on exhibit, including those from races and some famous entertainers, plus some cars that were recovered from a sinkhole, which in 2014 was discovered in the early morning in the middle of the museum, taking some of the cars from the Hall of Fame. On our way to the Smoky Mountains, we were a little surprised to come upon a town, Pigeon Forge, just outside the national park that was a vacation spot, which apparently is the site of Dollywood, an amusement park based around Dolly Parton's Appalachian-themed park.
So we decided to have a little wander down Gatlingburg to see what we could see and try their local Kentucky whiskey. And food for thought. So the whiskey tastes a little bit like ethanol that has been flavored with a huge variety of different sugary substances, everything imaginable. Not really like Scotch whiskey or bourbon at all, but something more flavorful, perhaps.
It's going to taste like magic, bad decisions,
I love bad decisions. My favorite decisions.
Listen, put it in a Bloody Mary. Other than that, I'd cook with it. Here we go. Mango bacon. 70 proof. It's going to taste like a barrel candy. My favorite thing to do with this one is throw it in some, obviously root beer, but cream soda is my favorite thing. Cream soda.
Root beer.
So next up, guys, Mark and Digger's hazelnut
That's cough
rum.
medicine. At the entrance of the Smoky Mountains is the Sugarlands region, which was named after the large number of sugar maple trees that were growing there. They were harvested for sugar by the early settlers, but we discovered lots and lots of different deciduous trees growing in the area, not only sugar maples. Lots of signs saying please don't feed the bears or they will feed upon you.
It wasn't quite the right season to see all the trees in bloom, But we did get to see the highlight of the winter, which was all of the frozen waterfalls that were frozen in place.
It's just a little bee. It decided to land on my hand and have a wander. It's checking out the lay of the land on my hand.
Hold still, dudes. Look. Look here.
All little squirrels.
Look at him. He dug up his nut. He's eating. Look at him. He's cleaning it. He's cleaning it first.
I hope that's not on the menu.
Well, in Greek, we'll never know.
Now you freaking scared him off.
I didn't do it.
Oh. Oh, he ran away.
No, wait a minute.
Is he a local squirrel then? Will he come back here?
Oh, yeah.
You recognise him?
Oh yeah, he'll come back.
As we started to drive down through Kentucky and Tennessee, we noticed that there was a very large number of churches everywhere, implying that the people around here are extremely religious. We stopped off in Nashville to sample a couple of bars and the local music, but I can't say we were very impressed with it.
I prefer the British bar.
We drove further south, we noticed the state's become a little redder and you get a bit more icing where gas driving cars will
some
park
icing
in
going
electric
on.
car vehicle spots.
This is Tennessee mentality, maybe lots of Republicans here.
It's a lucky thing we have more to choose from for the car.
Perhaps we should park our car at a gas pump and leave it there.
As we drove further down south into Mississippi and Louisiana, the snow did disappear for a while and then came back a couple days later. The cold snap was so severe that they even closed down the public schools and other public buildings in the area. It was pretty uncharacteristic this far south and broke records again, pointing to more climate change evidence.